I love trying new coloring techniques, and you guys have sent me some that look insane. What do you mean the page looks like shattered glass or velvet? I'm gonna try some of these today, but I'm gonna put them all on one page so we can see together if it turns out like complete chaos. Starting with the sticker effect. They're starting by outlining. And then coloring everything normally, leaving the areas that the sticker outline is meant to go. We're leaving those white. I've been wanting to do this effect for a while because it looks so cool. So when one of you said it to me, I said, yeah, today is the day. And I'm not gonna lie, voiceover Temi regrets doing this effect. I thought it would be the easiest, hence why I started with it, but it actually dealt with me. I'm not kidding when I say I nearly ripped the page out. I nearly started over. But so far, it starts off easy. We're just outlining where we want the sticker to be, and then we can face the hurdle of the coloring later. So I'm thinking of mine. I want to do, you know, the typical red Japanese temple. I want that to look like it was stuck on, and maybe the clouds as well. So let's just get to coloring. For the coloring, I was inspired by the shrine in front of Mount Fuji that I saw when I actually went to Japan a few years ago. That trip still inspires me so much. I don't want to go back. We climbed 400 steps to reach the top for, of course, one of the most iconic views of Mount Fuji. And I'm not gonna lie, I would do it again. Would I? I would do it again. Guys, I'm not much of a hiker, by the way. I don't even know if I would call that a hike. But there's nothing I love more than a beautiful view. Honestly, take me back. Now for the background. I normally leave the background till the last minute because it's always so hard, so nerve-wracking that I'm like, future Temi can deal with that. But today, we gotta do it so that we can figure out this sticker effect. So I'm feeling like doing this vibrant sunset with the blues, the purples, the pink. I hope I don't regret this. Spoiler alert, I regret it. This is the point where I realized I might have bitten off way more than I could chew. If you've been here for a while, you know I love a vibrant coloring page. So of course I wasn't just gonna do a simple blue sky. I gotta go all out. And you know it's not a Temi video if I'm not being overly ambitious, but today, I don't know, honestly. In real life, a sunset is one of my favorite things of all time. It doesn't matter where I am, if I'm on a walk, if I'm in a car, if I'm on a train, it doesn't matter. If I see a sunset, I'm taking a photo of it. But I can't tell you what it is I'm currently coloring because this ain't a sunset. I tried to leave a border around the page like the video has, but I'm just hating it. So I'm gonna extend the sky. I really like the full page immersion kind of feel. I'm still no good at blending alcohol markers, and it's even worse when the colors aren't necessarily next to each other on the color wheel. I don't know how I feel about this, but at this point, I give up. Should I just restart the page? I don't know. Like, I'm this close. And I asked my friend and she was like, girl. So I guess we'll have to trust the process. We do have 3 other techniques to go. Now it's time to go over the sticker effect area in white. I'm gonna take my white pen and we're gonna outline around everything. The white pen stage is when it really starts to come together. This white pen I'm using has the perfect thickness and opacity for what I need. I'll leave a link to all of the supplies I've used today down in the description. But the white pen stage is what makes it start to feel like a sticker, because you know the white border that you get around stuff is so cool. So tell me if you see the vision at this timestamp, or is it a big trust the process moment for you still? I know for me, it definitely is. I'm now going to go over the white outline with a bit of a border to help cast a little bit of a shadow. Guys, I'm not gonna lie to you. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I don't even know that any sky has ever looked like this in real life. But it's not that deep, right? It's that deep. I'm gonna grab some coloring pencils and I hope it can help me with this blend.
Color pencils are my absolute faves, so you already know I was delighted to pick them back up. And honestly, they just bring the whole blend together. There's nothing better in this world than coloring pencils.
Okay, I'm feeling this a lot more with the coloring pencils, but I feel like maybe the clouds shouldn't be the sticker effect. So I'm just gonna try to blend the clouds back into the sky. So hopefully the sky looks more cohesive maybe.
And this is what turned this page around for me. How much better does it look when it's just the shrine/temple standing out?
So for the sticker effect, I'm gonna rate it 3 stars for beauty and 4 stars for difficulty. Actually, maybe it would have been easier without the sunset, this and that. But anyway, the next technique is even harder. It is this foggy mirror kind of effect. That looks so cool. Zero tutorial, she just said, here you go, bam, bam, good night. I can't tell if the middle is just colored normally and then everything else is just a lighter color. So I'm gonna sketch out where I want the mirror effect to be, and then let's start with coloring our fox. It is a fox, right?
I'm jumping straight into the coloring for this one because that last one demoralized me. I needed to take a long break before I could continue. And low-key, I still kind of feel like I ruined the page. But after I finish all of the techniques, you guys tell me in the comments which one your favorite is. But for this one, I'm going in with positive vibes. The point of this effect is, you know when you come out of a super hot shower and your mirror is all fogged up and then you clean a section of the mirror so you can actually see yourself? I'm coloring the most vibrant parts first, and then I'm gonna go in with lighter versions of the color for everything else.
So I'm trying to have the mirror effect overlap certain things because I think the effect is most effective when you can see the fogginess beneath it.
So now it's time for that entire part. I'm trying to go in with lighter versions of all of the colors, but you can already see these steps. The gray is not that different to the original gray. So I don't know what I'm playing at, honestly.
The key thing that makes this effect work spectacularly well is going over all of the black lines with an acrylic marker. Acrylic marker is more opaque, so it just covers the lines.
It's where the specific colors and supplies you're using is what makes all of the difference. Because honestly, I don't know if this gray is quite light enough to cover it in the same way I want. But for this purple dress, I found a really good lilac acrylic marker that I think covers it spectacularly. If you're trying this effect as well at home, I'd probably say practice layering with your acrylic markers first. And maybe try to go super vibrant for your non-fogged up bits. Guys, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of feeling it. I walked into it a little bit apprehensive because of how the first one went. But I can kind of see the vision. I feel like it could be more vibrant, but I'm not mad at this at all. Also, when I was done filming, I went back to add some bits, so I'll show you how it actually turned out at the end of the video.
I'm gonna rate it 3 stars for beauty and 4 stars for difficulty. We have the velvet technique coming up a little bit later, which I'm high-key scared of. But next, we have the shattered glass. How do you make something look like fragments of, let's see. So it looks like outlining where the shards of glass will be and filling all of that with black.
This is the one technique that I would say looks scarier than it actually is. So if you've watched any of the videos in the series and you've been tempted to try one, definitely start here. The great thing about trying to draw shards of glass is that it doesn't need to be perfect. When was the last time something broke and shattered and came out perfectly? It's impossible. So you can really play around with it and don't be too precious about where each line is going. Just make sure that they kind of look like they could connect or did connect at some point. I've seen some where people have done it like it's coming from a radial point, almost like you used a hammer and a nail. But I made mine kind of random. Honestly, it doesn't matter. The main thing I will say though is if you're using an alcohol marker with a brush tip and a chisel tip like I am, then you want to use the chisel tip side because it allows you to get straighter lines.
And now we're just going to color the illustration normally.
This is actually so fun. Would you believe that in all of my coloring book videos, I'm always doing some obscure challenge or the other. Either I'm using 2 colors, or I'm trying to do a neon effect, stained glass effect, just something random. So this is the first time that I'm actually just trying to color elements like they should be colored. Should I do a full page just coloring normally? I don't know. I think I might find that too boring.
And now we want the appearance of broken glass. So I'm gonna take the trusty white pen to outline all of the glass, but also make it look like it's kind of like broken, you know,
If you've been here for a while, you already know I love the white pen stage. Like, it doesn't matter what kind of thing I'm doing, if I'm doing a realistic portrait or if I'm just doing something in a coloring book. The white pen stage is my favorite stage of all time. And honestly, with this one, this is where trusting the process really comes together. And I know when things are in the ugly phase, it's not the easiest thing to actually trust the process, but honestly, why is this snatching it right up? I love it. I also added these lines that looks like, you know, the flecks or, I don't know, the shine from the broken glass, the glass pieces. I think that's just what really ties this effect together, and I love it.
And this final bit they didn't do, but you know how glass always looks like it has a hint of blue? I'm just going to add tinsy hints of blue. And I'm not mad at this effect. This is the first one that I'm like, I'm not mad at that. So I'm gonna rate it 4 stars for beauty and 3 stars for difficulty. It wasn't bad at all. Now it's the big boy, the velvet. This girl made a tutorial.
I love a tutorial just as much as the next person. And this one is 7 minutes long, going into detail about starting with the lightest color and then doing a kind of dotting technique from the darkest color all the way up to the lightest. I wish I could have included the original audio, but she had some copyright music behind it. I'll leave a link to the tutorial down in the description if you also want to try it yourself.
She's doing 7 colors. I'm not doing all of that. I'm so sorry, but that is incredibly long. I could do 5, maybe 6 colors, but 7 is a stretch. So I'm gonna start with what should be the grass. And I've grabbed all of the shades of green.
So I actually grabbed 6 colors, so maybe she wasn't really stretching that much by saying 7, but does that not sound excessive? What if you were not using this massive set of 320 colors? What would you do then? But I'm not gonna lie, this is one of those techniques that actually look difficult. And the way she was able to achieve it to make it look like actual velvet material, just incredible. Honestly, all props to the creator. What's interesting about these coloring techniques that I've tried in the past, I've not really done textures of clothes. The closest thing I got to that was trying glitter last time. And if you watch that video, you know how much I struggled with that. But unlike our last technique, I can't just grab my white pen to come and save the day. This one relies on so much understanding of light. And I don't understand light. I just don't get it. If you know anything about me, light and shadows are one of my most painful parts of art. I find it so difficult. Velvet gets its effect from the way it catches the light, but you also need the stippling texture to give you the velvety vibe. Like if you made it too smooth, it would just end up looking like satin or silk. You need that kind of ripple or dimple in the fabric. I don't know how to explain it, but I think you guys know what I mean. And honestly, this green is not really looking velvety to me. So I'ma just move on.
Not really sure how I feel about the grass, but these pebbles, I thought it would be really cool to make it look like a red velvet, which I know isn't realistic to what you would see outside or what they would be sweeping up, but that's not the point.
I really wanted to try red velvet because I think velvet looks amazing in a red color. And also, who doesn't like red velvet cake? Honestly, I'm not really a cake person, but red velvet is just one of those universally loved flavors. Not like carrot or something. No shade for carrot lovers, of course. I love you too. Let me know your favorite cake in the comments.
Guys, I'm not gonna lie to you, but this red velvet, you cannot tell me that that thing was not sewn from velvet. I love how that turned out. Okay, let's just finish off with the rest of the elements and come back.
Honestly, this whole section turned out so much more realistic than I thought, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of proud of it. I mean, I wouldn't call it perfect, obviously, but I definitely get a soft, luxurious kind of feel. It's so cute.
So to finish off the velvet page, I really wanted to do the background, but I just can't figure out what color to do. Should it be blue to match the sky, or should it be something that contrasts better with the green and the red of the bottom? You let me know in the comments and I'll do it in a future short. So I'm gonna rate this velvet one 4 stars for beauty and 3 stars for difficulty. I went back in with even more detail, some drips for the foggy effect. I added a bit to the sticker effect. So overall, I'm much happier with how this turned out.
And now it's time to crown our winners. The foggy mirror takes bronze, velvet takes silver, and the sticker effect takes my gold.
But you let me know what you think in the comments. Watch this video next.